Hello, how are you? I read your comments in one of my latest videos, and you asked me for a video for imbalance. To me, I consider imbalance as one of the very basic topic when it comes to smart money concept. Okay, but I don't know the details you're actually seeking. Please bear with me, my voice is not that good. I'm not feeling too well. Okay, but let's just go. Okay, as we have on the screen, we have the schematics. We can see that this market is actually in an uptrend. We have this break of structure here. Okay, this bullish break of structure sponsored by this move. Okay, this will swing. This is what we refer to as order block. Okay, order block. These three candles, these three down close candle, 1 2 3 is the order block. Why? Because it is this move that actually cleared the liquidity below this, the sell side liquidity that is lying below this swing low. Okay, and before breaking structure, after we clear this, that's why I wrote here stop hunt. Okay, after we stop hunted these stop losses that are here, they will now break structure to the upside with a bullish break of structure. So the whole of this, once again, very important, the whole of these 1 2 3 down close candles, they are what we refer to as the order block. But most times we always refine them to the last, in this case this is a bullish order block. We always refine it to, most times, to the last sell to buy candle. Okay, so whenever you have this move and you start seeing this kind of bullish move, without any red candlesticks, this is what we call liquidity void, because the market is usually supposed to be balanced by the sellers and the buyers. The selling pressure and the buying pressure is supposed to be balanced. But wherever you have either smooth selling, all selling or all buying, then we say that the market is imbalanced. Okay, that's where we get the name from, imbalance. Okay, now in this case we have liquidity void. What it means is that price is most likely to travel down here in order to clear all this liquidity, and in this liquidity void there's what we call the imbalance per se. Okay, this continuous bullish candlesticks represent a liquidity void. Then the imbalance, actually, which is another name, the fair value gap, the FVG, which is what I wrote here, or the IPA, inefficient price action, is just telling you that in this move there are only buyers, whereas we're supposed to be having buyers and sellers. So in this move there are only buyers, then the market is not balanced. So the market will now introduce sellers in order to balance the market. That's why we do have mitigation. Okay, now if you look at this carefully, how do we identify or the imbalance per se? Sorry for the background noise. Okay, for us here we have this wick, this red candle wick, this high, the high of this candle. We normally consider 3 candles. Okay, 1 2 3, where the between the high of this candle and the low of the third candle, there shouldn't be gap. Okay, there shouldn't be any gap. But wherever you have any gap between the high, they will say this candle, they are just mainly there are a lot of buyers. The buyers here are more than the sellers. Okay, that's what we call imbalance. So between this high and this low, we have this gap. This gap is what we call imbalance. So the market will most likely, the market will most likely come down to balance this move. Okay, and most likely also come down and take it like that. Okay, so that's what we mean by imbalance per se. Okay, that's what I really understand by imbalance. Okay, so you can see the market came back. This move is a mitigation move, came back, take out the imbalance or fill the imbalance. Okay, imbalance fill, then also tap into the point of interest. Is the point of interest, which is usually the last, most times the last in this case sell to buy candle, or what people might refer to as sponsored candles, SC. Some people might refer to it as institutional candle. Okay, any one of them really holds. So that's what I really understand by imbalance. I don't know if you are requiring more details. Okay, that's this. In this case, we have a bearish order block, and you can see this move. This move is this 1 2 3 bullish candle actually forms your order block. The bearish order block. You can see it came, grab the liquidity that is above this high, and then trade downwards, breaking the structure. Okay, and by the time it did that, you can see that we only have selling candles here. This is what we call liquidity void. Okay, then if you want to catch the imbalances in this candle, you can have this is look at this wick very well. This one may not have wick, but it's the same thing. Is a low. Okay, the low, the high, the low, the high. So between the low of this candle and the high of this third candle, we have a gap. So this gap is the imbalance of the fair value gap, the FVG. Okay, so market will most likely, most times, not all the time, trade back into it in form of mitigation or filling the imbalance before continuation. So that's what we understand by imbalance. Okay, so let me try to see if I can get some chart examples so that you understand it better. So we are on the read chart. There are so many examples of imbalance. In fact, the market is very volatile at this moment, so you can see a lot of imbalances. This is a very good example of imbalance. You can see this is a very good example of imbalance. Very good example of imbalance. Let me use my imbalance markings. It's not working. Okay, it's a very good example of imbalance. You can see that we have a gap between this candle's low and this candle high. This is the imbalance. Market will most likely want to trade back into it, and you can see what market did, traded back into the imbalance. Okay, now you can see once again a very huge imbalance here. Very huge imbalance between this wick. Look at this wick and this candle's wick. You can see that we have a very large imbalance here, and now we're expecting the market to come down and fill this imbalance. That is why I'm setting a limit here to see if I can actually catch this trade. Okay, then once again, let me just delete this, delete that quickly. I hope you can cope with my voice. So many, you can just start spotting them on the chart. This is another very clear example of imbalance. Imbalance, too much buying in this case, imbalance, so much selling. You can see the beautiful what we're trying to say here. You can see initially there exists imbalance here. Okay, there exists imbalance there. Let me just do something quickly, wrapping up the video. You can see after this candle, how do you get an imbalance? You see this candle, after this candle formed, you have this gap here. Okay, you have this gap, so you are expecting market to come and trade back into this. So you can just say, okay, let me put my entry here at the end of that imbalance, and I say, okay, let's see what's going to happen. Okay, target somewhere, or maybe the end of the imbalance, whatever it is, and let's see what happens. Because that price is going to trade, because that price is going to trade back to the imbalance, so you can just see very nice trade, as you can see. So that's what we're trying to say. Not all the time this is going to work, so you should take note of that. Not all the time. Okay, not all the time. Now we have another imbalance here. You can see once again it's an imbalance. Now if you might want to, okay, let's see if it's going to work out. For instance, let's see we are putting our target here, our entry here, we are putting our entry here, and we're taking out. Okay, let's see what's going to work. We're going to see, let's see, maybe something like this. No, this is not going to work out, I think so. But this market is always going to drop. See, this is what we call liquidity void. You can see liquidity void, all selling candle. Okay, all selling candle, liquidity void. So most times in that market is going to come back to this to balance this liquidity void, and that's exactly what you have. Okay, market came back, balance this liquidity void, but take us out anyway. But you don't need to trade like that. That's not the way to trade. We're just trying to explain some things to you. So with that, I think that is what I understand by imbalance. I don't know more than that. Really. Thank you so much.